Jeff Adrian's checked in for the Rockets. Isaiah Cannon comes in for Nelson. It's tipped. Diaw with it, and it's Howard picking him up. Diaw dishes to Parker. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You know, as you were saying, the Rockets were great here. Fast starts here at the Toyota Center helped them win 33 games at home last season.
Well, for the Rockets, they're just so tough to beat at home because they're explosive offensively, and they've got a great crowd. So once they get the lead in their home building, they are tough to catch.
Here's Canaan, and he also played really well in that win against the Heat. Adrian kicks to Harden. Here's Canaan. The Rockets again can't hit.
Almost surprised that he had that much room to work with.
Parker passes to Green. Parker outside. Dishes to Splitter. Pass to Green. Just 5 on the clock. And the basket good. And the Spurs lead by 2. And so it's Houston with it. Harden outside. Trying to get back on track. And that one's good. Harden's got 10.
He's looking pretty confident out there. I mean, 5 of 7 so far from the field. He's feeling it.
Here is Parker. 9 points last game out. And Diaw kicks to Green. And it's off the back rim. No good.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
Harden, boom, he jams it straight down.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And he does it as well as anyone. Tremendous skill in the air.
San Antonio's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Parker outside. Kicks it out to Leonard. Passes to Splitter. Clock at 6. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Splitter's got the game tied up here for the Spurs. The Rockets have gone 8 of 12 on field goal attempts so far. Cannon dishes to Harden. Howard with the screen on Leonard. Here's Canaan. From outside, off the mark. The Spurs shooting the ball to the tune of 41% from the field so far. And Green slams it in.
I'd say that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, it sure did. A good job getting it started and a better job finishing it off.
Daniels, he's checked in for James Harden. San Antonio also making some changes. Bellinelli comes in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. There's 1:54 left in the first quarter. Well, going into last season, Thiago Splitter accepting a 4-year, $36 million extension, Steve, from the Spurs.
A lot of people questioned the value of that contract, but Splitter more than earned it with his play throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. He's versatile, he can pass, he can defend, and even though his numbers were down a little bit last year, he made tremendous impact just in terms of their interior play.
And Splitter clearly, when you look at him offensively, is not a floor spacer. He's a guy who's going to finish inside. He's going to set solid screens. Even though he plays close to the basket, his field goal percentage dropped by almost 10% over the last couple of seasons. He was once superb in that area. Now he's just rock solid. But with the Spurs, in his role, rock solid is good enough.
Now here's Green. His last outing, he had 8 points. Baseline J on the way. Again, the Spurs good for 2.
Got him with the turnaround there. That was as sweet as honey.
Rockets trail.
Splitter still shooting over 90% of his shots in the paint, but less effective down low. Injuries perhaps a factor. We'll see if he can bounce back.
Howard in the post. He's against Splitter. No good with the triple. And here are the Spurs. They're on a 14-6 run. Mills passes to Diaw. Outside, Green. Now Bellinelli. 14 points from him the last game against Atlanta. Splitter, and he hits it just before the shot clock expires. And now a 4-point Spurs lead. Houston's gone 0-4 from three-point land to start out. Looking cold from outside. Howard with it. He's against Splitter. And Splitter pulls it down. Splitter's got 3 rebounds now in this one. There's a screen. And here's Mills. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Here's Green. Shot is blocked. And we reach the end of the first quarter. It's San Antonio as they wrap up the first quarter with a massive 16-6 run. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment.
Next Tuesday, November 11th, Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs go up against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. It's the real deal.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And looking at what we've seen from the Spurs so far, guys, what do you think?
Pretty good start defensively. This club forced some mistakes and took advantage, and that's how they've built this lead.
And they've built the lead because not only have they forced turnovers, but they've taken care of the ball themselves. So that's a winning combination.
Spurs leading by 4. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the floor for San Antonio, Mills and Manu at the guards. Boris Diaw is out there with Duncan, and it's Bellinelli in at the 3 slot.
And he came off that screen. The defense just couldn't get over the top. Beautiful play.
Yep, and without a hand in his face, he's going to bury those.
Here's Kanan. He dishes it to Wright, expanding his range. It's rebounded by Boris Diaw. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, after a heartbreaking 2013 finals loss, the Spurs entered last season with tremendous motivation. Manu Ginobili said, "We felt guilty. We had the trophy, and it slipped away." Coach Popovich said not a day went by without thinking of Game 6. But they bounced back to win it all, and as the confetti fell, Duncan said, "It makes last year okay." Guys?
Yep, it all worked out. Thanks, Doris. Nelson's checked in for Cannon.
Boris Diaw was more aggressive looking for his offense last season. He's got a lot of them. I thought he shot the ball extremely well. Excellent percentages both from the field, 2-point range, and long range.
Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. And the call is going to be, yes, it is, an illegal screen. Here is the 2K leaderboard with the list of last season's top 3-point shooters. Well, you look at Bellinelli, one of the best shooters in the NBA, top 5 in the league at this moment.
Yeah, very deserved spot for him among the leading 3-point shooters. He was terrific last season.
Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Here's Wright. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Brandon Wright, the former 8th overall pick back in 2007. For his career, Steve, a field goal percentage of around 60%.
Well, he's figured out his niche in the league. He wasn't sure what he was when he arrived, but he's a backup big. He's a diver. He's an offensive rebound guy. He's a lob catcher. So, you know, not a one-on-one scorer, but somebody who can play off of others very effectively.
James Harden, he's checked in for Houston. Joseph, he's checked in for San Antonio. Duncan inside. Adrian on him, but he gets it back. And Bellinelli kicks to Diaw. It's rebounded by Houston.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
And it's Harden slamming it down.
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, you know, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, it's startling that he'd even try that right now.
And right, because he's light-weighted and struggle in matchups with stronger opponents. But he is a shot blocker. His length really helps him in pick-and-roll situations.
The Spurs making a switch here. Leonard's checked in.
Spurs substitution. Kawhi Leonard.
Quarter number 2, we're about 2 minutes in. Duncan dishes to Leonard. Good D by Ariza.
And for Wright, it seems like he'll always be slighted build, but he hasn't been one to chafe over his playing time. He just focuses on playing well in the minutes he earns.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Here's Joseph. James Harden picking up that last basket. Ginobili the pass to Duncan. Feeds to Joseph. Into Diop. 6 to shoot. Now the pass to Joseph. Here's Duncan, and there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time. Duncan's got 4 points now in the quarter. Wright sets a screen for Harden. Nelson outside for the 3, and the shot is good. And the Rockets lead by 2. Guys, no one team gaining control early on.
Give and take, back and forth, the whole way thus far.
Yeah, 6 lead changes already, and as Rasheed Wallace once said, both teams playing hard, my man.
Now, here's Joseph. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Leonard, no luck.
Now, he was right there, but the defensive pressure forced that miss.
Well contested. That really made it a tough shot. Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
Yeah, they have the defense on the run right now because every pass seems to have a purpose. They're getting great movement, great spacing, and they're really lining them up defensively.
Here's Joseph. James Harden picking up that last basket. Duncan left side. He kicks it to Leonard. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Kawhi Leonard has been talked about and mentioned as the future of this San Antonio Spurs team. 23 years old is all he is, and already a great defender and a much improved shooter from his days at San Diego State.
Well, for Kawhi Leonard, we know about his defense, but you think, Steve, he can become a go-to offensive player?
Well, he's going to need to, Kevin, when Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan move on. This is going to be Kawhi Leonard's team, and I thought what was interesting was the Spurs gave him more of a burden last year offensively. They started to give him more and more looks isolation-wise down on the block, and he's developed at a beautiful rate. He's coming into his own.
And the Rockets making a change here. Johnson's checked in. And he makes the first but misses the second. Well, Kawhi Leonard drafted 15th overall back in 2011. The pick acquired from the Indiana Pacers in a trade for George Hill.
And you know, at the time, Manu Ginobili said that he really didn't agree with the trade, made him angry. He had a real strong relationship with George Hill, liked his game. I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans felt the same way, but even as Hill remains a heck of a player, the Spurs fans have to be happy. As a matter of fact, they are ecstatic with what Kawhi Leonard has been able to do and what he looks like he's going to do for many years to come.
Here's Nelson following the basket by Tim Duncan. Here's the 3. Rebound San Antonio. Duncan's got his 5th rebound in this one. And it's blocked by Harden. He lobs up the alley-oop pass.